Righty. So welcome to the March meeting of NPU-F. Today is March 18th, 2026, and I'm Debbie Skopczynski, NPU-F Chair. Taking minutes tonight is our Secretary, Catherine King. We're glad to have her here. I'm joined by several of our officers in addition to Catherine. They include Ryan Howard, who is our Alcohol Licensing Chair, Katie DeWeese, our Zoning Chair and APAB Representative, Susan Canellis, who is a co-chair for public safety. I didn't see Rich Sussman join us. Okay. Phyllis Wingo, who is the other co-chair for public safety, and Marla Johnson, our communications chair, will be joining us in a little bit later in the meeting. And then also with us tonight is a planner from City Planning, Doug Young, from he's the Director of Design in the City of Department of City Planning. And Doug, we're glad that you're here as well. Okay. Okay. NPU-F has two agendas. They're both now in the chat. The full agenda, which is the one with the phone numbers at the top of the page. We also use a consent agenda, which includes applications which historically this NPU has approved with no discussion. These applications will be bundled together to be approved with a single vote. If you are here for an application, please check the full agenda to find it. Both agendas are in the chat, as I mentioned. All residents, including renters of NPU-F, may vote on any issue unless there is a financial interest in the application or motion. For example, residents or business owners may not vote on their own applications, but they can vote on anything else. If you're not an NPU resident but own a business in the NPU, you may vote if you've met the requirements as described in our bylaws. The voting rules are at the bottom of the full agenda. And we are using the honor system for voting tonight, so please refrain from voting if you do not live in, own property, or a business in NPU-F. NPU-F uses Robert's Rules of Order as our parliamentary guide. For the most routine matters, I will ask if there are any objections or for unanimous consent. When a motion is requested, I'll recognize the first two people who speak up to move or second the motion. This is the only exception to my raise your hand rule. I know most people have used Zoom, but for those who are using it for the first time or need a refresher, here's some things you'll want to know. Zoom publishes a participant list, which includes everyone who is attending this meeting. Your name should be at the top of the list. If there is more than one person using the same device, please include both names on the participant list so that we can get an accurate attendance report. This will also be important for voting. To change a name, click on the word more, M-O-R-E, at the right of your name to find an option. Also, if someone else's name is showing up in your window, then please correct it. If there are duplicate names, neither one's vote will count. And I see tonight that there is someone that is that's joined us using a phone number, and we'd like to know who you are, so if you could change your phone number to your name, that'd be really helpful. See, the mute button, which looks like a microphone, can usually be found at the bottom left of most screens. Please stay muted unless you are called on. If you wish to speak, please use the raise your hand icon, which is found under the reaction tab, also at the bottom of most screens. Be sure you click on the correct icon. Sometimes folks will hit the thumbs up, and that disappears after 10 seconds. Speakers will be called on in the order the hands are raised. Also, please be sure your camera is on so that we can see who is speaking. When it comes time to vote, we'll be sure everyone can find the raise your hand icon. If you're using a cell phone or landline, want to raise your hand, click on *9. To mute or unmute, push *6. Your hand will show up on my screen. So that we can get through our voting items, please follow our meeting protocol. Keep all questions and comments germane to the topic being addressed and respectful of everyone in the meeting. To allow everyone an opportunity to speak, I'm going to ask that you only speak once on a topic unless you are asked for clarification or a question on previous remarks. Please limit your comments to 2 minutes or less unless otherwise instructed. I especially want to hear from you if you are opposed to an application. Please don't be shy about your point of view, but also please be brief. If you have a random thought, please make a note in the chat and we'll either respond or work it into the discussion if appropriate. At the end of the meeting, I will ask if anything else should come before the NPU tonight. That's the appropriate time to speak up on items not on the agenda for discussion. The chat is where you can send messages to everyone or to an individual. If I see the comments have become inappropriate, are rude, or mean-spirited, I will turn off the chat for the remainder of the meeting. As a reminder, you can save the chat by clicking on the 3 dots in the chat window. If you can't save it, let us know in the chat window and we'll get it to you. Snarky or sarcastic comments are not helpful and not appreciated. Please keep the snark to yourself. NPU-F is a snark-free zone, and I also will try to do the same. And if I'm moving too quickly or skip an application, please call me out. Sometimes I get on a roll and forget important steps. So that we can all hear and get a good recording, it's important that only one person speaks at a time. If we're picking up background noise or you interrupt or hog the floor, you will be muted. We are approaching another campaign season, so remember that campaigning is prohibited at NPU meetings. This means that you cannot introduce yourself as a candidate or representing a candidate or mention campaign activities on screen or in the chat. Please, campaign signs, buttons, and banners are not allowed on screen. If you do so, I'm obligated to report it, so you will be muted and asked to leave the meeting. In 2024, we celebrated the 50th anniversary of the NPU system. The role of the NPUs has evolved over those 50 years, and we're now asked to comment on a wide variety of topics affecting our neighborhoods, the NPU, and citywide. Your participation is critical to our form of grassroots democracy. We have the responsibility to share our opinions with the city leadership and elected representatives. When we vote, we give notice that NPU-F is paying attention to city issues and leaders. But as a reminder, all votes taken at the NPU are only recommendations. Final decisions are made by city boards, city administrators, or city council, and I hope that you will take advantage of expressing your opinion there as well, either in writing, by phone, or by making a comment during public hearing opportunities. Our first order of business tonight is to adopt the agenda. It has been posted in the chat and on the NPU website. And also it was attached to the reminder letter that was sent out to folks on the distribution list. Are there any additions to tonight's full agenda? Are there any additions? If you have any additions, please raise your hand. Okay. Are there any objections to adopting the agenda? Okay, I don't hear or see any objections. The agenda is adopted without objection. The February minutes are now ready for review and posted in the chat. They are also attached to the reminder emails and posted to the website. Are there any changes or corrections to the minutes? If so, please raise your hand or speak up. Okay, I don't see any. Is there a motion to adopt the February 2026 minutes? Is there a motion? Rich Sussman?
I'll second it, Tom.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Okay. Are there any objections to adopting the minutes? Okay, I don't hear or see any. The minutes are adopted. I've got a couple of announcements. This has been kind of a busy month. Actually, a very busy month for all neighborhoods. Okay, could everyone stay muted because I'm getting a little feedback here. Okay, the Red Bull F1 show run on 10th and Peachtree Street that we had a pretty lengthy conversation about at last month's meeting and was scheduled for March 28th has been moved to Hank Aaron Boulevard near the Georgia State Stadium. This location is in NPU-V. We discussed this event at the February meeting and supported it. My understanding is that there were both property and audience safety concerns related to the F1 vehicles traveling at high speeds and doing quick 360-degree turns, which is the reason why it was moved from Piedmont Park. We've also received several special administrative permits called SAPs this month for NPU and neighborhood and NPU-F review. SAPs do not require NPU-F votes. They go to the neighborhoods for their review and comment. The first was Beltline 26013. This is in the Piedmont Heights neighborhood at 1420 Mason Street Northeast. That's in the Armour Otley district. Fast Signs of Atlanta intend to repair and renovate the building and relocate their production facilities from a space currently rented at 528 Plasters Avenue to the renovated space. The Beltline Design Review Committee has opted to not review the application, which they thought was pretty routine. And Piedmont Heights has reviewed the application and had no comments or concerns. The next was in Virginia Highland, Beltline 26005 at 609 Virginia Avenue. These are at the Virginia Highland Apartments. They're proposing to remove an existing dilapidated prefabricated maintenance and storage shed and build a new amenity building facing the Beltline. The new building will serve the existing apartment complex and act as a fitness center and clubhouse for the residents. Virginia Highland had no concerns. In Lyndridge Martin Manor, there was a 0 lot line application ZLL 26001 at 2199 Lenox Road. This was a request to create 22 fee simple lots for sale. This is typical for townhome developments. Lyndridge Martin Manor had no concerns. And finally, SAP 26034 at 1769 Cheshire Bridge Road. This is this replaces SAP 23183, which was an off-site parking agreement. Planning is advised that the NC district that it's in does not allow an administrative decision for off-street parking, and has referred the application to the BZA staff to prepare a referral certificate for a special exception, which means it will eventually come to the full NPU for a review and a recommendation. The application, however, also includes some building renovations, and they'll be on hold until the BZA approves or denies the request. Both MLPA and Piedmont Heights have been engaged in the review. Next, the Virginia Highland considered a lot subdivision at 1926 Rosedale Road. This was to subdivide a lot with 100 feet of frontage to two 50-foot lots. The request, which came from Councilmember Wan, was for a recommendation on whether he should sponsor legislation to provide a waiver, since the request does not meet the provisions of the subdivision ordinance. After discussions with the applicant and adjacent neighbors, Virginia Highland voted to recommend the subdivision. And then finally, I want to express my apologies to several applicants and to the Virginia Highland and Morningside neighborhoods for having to do a last-minute scramble to make recommendations on several BZA variances. When sent from the city, they were nestled together in a long email chain, and neither Katie or I realized that they would be on our agenda. But surprise, there they were. They were sent to us 2 weeks ago, and the neighborhoods were able to work the applications into their board meetings. So thank you so much for doing that for us and for your neighbors. Okay, that's the end of the announcements. I will move to reports from city departmental representatives. I think we've got representatives from Zone 2 and Zone 6.
Good evening, Captain Knapp, the Assistant Zone Commander for Zone 2. Just want to give you a little quick snapshot. Today, presently, the city sits at a minus 15% in reported crime. Zone 2 year to date sits at a minus 26%. A big to-do with that is going to be our motor vehicle theft and our theft from vehicles. Both of those categories are down 49% year to date compared to last year. Our officers are doing an outstanding job. They're in the right areas at the right times. We have got several joint details that we've conducted with our neighboring zones, especially with Zone 6. We do have a joint detail coming up in our multiple details coming up in our Cheshire Bridge corridor. That's going to be with Zone 6, our Auto Crimes Enforcement Unit, also Fulton County Sheriff's Office Scorpions Unit. GSP is predominantly in this area as well with their Nighthawks ever since they opened up their troop at the governor's mansion. They've been a great asset for Zone 2 and also Zone 6 in this corridor. Our violent crimes in the past 30 plus days fit our same trend that we see every month. 4 out of the 5 violent crimes that were reported were all domestic violence in nature. We did have one that was reported at one of our problem areas along Cheshire Bridge. But that suspect will most likely be identified. He utilized an Uber to get to the location. He was denied entry into the club. He did fire 1 round, not at anybody, we do not believe. We're still checking for video, but CID is going to be handling that, and we will follow up with them. But again, we have great leads in that case. If there are no questions for me, I do want to introduce Miss Janae Beavers from the Atlanta Victim Assistance Program and one of our outstanding victim witness advocates. So unless there's any questions to me, I'm going to turn it over to her.
Are there any questions for Captain Knapp?
Thank you so much. Everybody remain safe and enjoy Miss Beavers' presentation.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Beavers?
This is Brittany Holland. I'm the supervisor of Miss Beavers. I actually work alongside Zone 6. I'll hold my presentation until Lieutenant Carroll has had the opportunity to present, but I will be here in lieu of Miss Beavers.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, Lieutenant Carroll?
Yes, ma'am. How are y'all today?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. I got the flu. But so far for this current 28-day period, we're at 0 robberies. That's down from 2 we had on the previous 28-day. We currently at 3 burglaries for this 28 days. That's down from 4 the previous 28. We're up in motor vehicle thefts though. Unfortunately, we're up by 3. We had previous 3. We have 6 total now, and that's up from 3 on the previous 28-day. We're holding steady with our theft from autos at 21. All other larcenies, we're currently at 14. That's up 2 from the previous 28-day of 12. Currently right now, I've got my bike units hitting all the parks and all our problem areas we've been having lately. Everybody's been really communicative with me, fortunately. Does anybody have any questions or concerns for Zone 6?
Any questions for Lieutenant Carroll? Okay, I don't see any questions for you.
I'll put my email address in the chat, so if you think anything later, you can email me.
Okay, great, thank you.
And I'll turn it over to Miss Holland.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lieutenant.
Feel better.
As I was introduced earlier, apologies. My name is Brittany Holland. I work alongside Ms. Janae Beavers and the Atlanta Police Department as a victim advocate. I covers zones 4 and 6. Ms. Beavers covers zones 2 and 5. You'll find our contact information in the chat as well as our website if there's ever any assistance that you may need that may not fall within those zones. I just wanted to give a brief introduction of what we do and then allow anybody to ask questions that they may have regarding a victimization. We assist with person-on-person violent crime before an arrest has been made. Very often you will see us on scene assisting victims at the point of victimization. We primarily assist with those that have experienced an aggravated assault, a simple assault, intimidation, kidnapping. Unfortunately, a large majority of those are domestic violence in nature. That said, we do not exclusively have to have a report to assist. There just has to be victimization. So you can also reach out to us outside of filing a police report. It may limit the ability that we have to assist, but we'll do the best that we can. We do provide resources for people that have experienced a crime that might include medical compensation that's offered through a state program, connecting with any investigators, legal experts, or explaining any legal proceedings that are happening. And then we also maintain a vast partnership and network of agencies that we can refer out to, doing warm contact to organizations as those resources may be needed for you. There's no need for you to contact me or Ms. Janae Beavers directly if you do experience victimization of this nature. Because of our partnership with APD, we do connect immediately after a crime has been reported. So we'll do that independently, but we do like to make ourselves known here because we recognize that some people may not go through the reporting process or may not understand how to do that reporting process. And so we can assist there as needed. And I can take any questions if there may be for myself or Ms. Beavers.
Are there any questions? And you said you did put your information in the chat?
Yes, I believe it might have been the first information in the chat, so you may have to scroll a bit.
Okay, thank you. Rich Sussman.
Ms. Holland, sort of tell us how it works. So let's say there's a domestic violence episode in a family.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? How do you get involved?
So because of our partnership with the Atlanta Police Department, the typical way that I get involved is that I will actually pull that report myself, and I will use that report and the contact information provided to reach out to that client directly. That said, again, very often, if we happen to be within the precinct at the time that that report is made, we may actually go out with the officers and be there on scene to provide this assistance there. That's not always the case, especially as domestics may occur overnight. And unfortunately, we're not there on the overnight portion. We do work 8 to 5, but we will likely contact a victim within 9 days of victimization. It's our goal.
Any other questions? And Rich, does that answer your question? I guess I should have asked that first. Ms. Helen, I don't see any other hands raised, so thank you for
Perfect.
being
Thank you
here
so
and
much for your
explaining
time.
your program to us.
We may have one.
Oh, Catherine.
All right. Could you please put your information back in the chat? I can't find it on the chat.
Certainly. I'll do so before I leave.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Well, thank you very much for being here tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Is there anyone here from Atlanta Fire Department?
Yes, ma'am.
Captain Turner.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Do you have a report?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Justin Turner. I'm the battalion commander of Battalion 3, which Station 19 falls in our battalion. Just with the temperatures getting warmer, more people getting outside, being active, cooking outside and grilling. We're just reminding everyone to use caution when they're cooking outside with their grills or using fire pits. No grilling on any balconies, and it needs to be away from any structure. And also use caution when you're disposing of charcoal or ashes. Put some water on them and let them sit outside for at least a day away from any structures. And the city always has a complete burn ban of no burning of any type of yard debris. And one of the biggest things we try to remind everyone to do is when you change the time, spring forward, fall back, is also change the batteries in your smoke detectors and your carbon monoxide detectors, and test them while you're doing it. That's all we have from AFRD. If anybody has any questions or concerns.
Any questions? We apparently have a very quiet group tonight. Rich.
Yes.
Thank you.
Timeline on the move of Station 29 to its new location?
I do not have any. There's been some talk with that, I think, with DOT installing a roundabout, but I don't have any definitive information on Station 29 being relocated at this time.
I had heard that it was a location somewhere near the Lindbergh MARTA station because the current location of the firehouse is not really good, or not enough. The facilities are not up to par, I guess.
Gotcha. On our end, like I said, nothing's been passed down definitive about Station 29, but I will put my contact info in the chat. And if you would, just shoot me an email and I'll try to get a better answer for you.
Thank you.
That. Sure.
Thanks, Rich. Anyone else have any questions? Okay, I think we're good. Thank you, Captain, for being here tonight. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Officer Andrea Williams, APD Code Enforcement. Officer Williams.
I'm here.
Thank you. Do you have a report tonight?
Just providing an update on the pending code cases, which includes property maintenance cases. At this time, there are only 20 property maintenance cases and 9 highly hazardous cases. So we're doing good for the time being. So far, so good. That's all I have to report for now.
Okay. And
anyone have any questions or concerns?
I sent out the code enforcement report to the neighborhoods today, so they should have the specifics on those cases so that they can follow up if necessary.
Okay. I have my phone number and email address in the chat if anyone have any questions or concerns.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
you
you.
all have a good night.
Thank you. ATL 311.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tamika Clark Merriweather. I am your 311 ambassador. Of course, you guys know that we are here for your non-emergency reportings. We get your concerns and your questions to the departments in question, and you can reach us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to midnight. We also partner with PAD as well as supportive services for those who may have quality of life concerns, and you can also reach them Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to midnight. I've put in the chat our contacts, which of course is 311 if you are in the city limits, and if you have traditional city area code like 44678, 770, or 470. If you have any out of state area codes, we do encourage you to contact us through the extended number, which is 404 546-0311, because we've found that some people have gotten rerouted to their area codes 311 as more people take on the initiative to start 311. With that being said, you can also email us. You can email us at atl311 at Atlanta spelled out ga.gov. That's a good way to show pictures as well as any additional information that you may have, so that we can further deep dive into a follow-up status or escalation. You also can add us on social media if you our social media person, and it's at ATL311 on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And last but not least, you can go to atl311.com and create your own profile and keep up with your cases that way. And you also may chat with a live agent. With that being said, I have the survey in the chat as well as my supervisor's contact on top of our contact. And if you have any questions or concerns, we encourage you to reach out.
Great.
Ms. Newmart?
Yes, I actually have 7 service requests that are pending, and
Mhm.
2 of them have been troublesome because in one case, a friend and I cleaned up on Piedmont very next close to the I-85 overpass, and we took the bags home and put them in our trash cans, but we left large things that we couldn't manage and turned them into 311 to be picked up. And that's been it's almost 2 weeks ago. So I'm wondering what the delay is, and it's very frustrating to see that things I've turned in haven't gotten taken care of.
I definitely understand. Now, I do know when you kind of do your own cleanup, I think it's a number. I'm gonna look and put it in the chat that you would call and let them know, hey, we went to this park, hey, we went to this area. We need a pickup for those large items, okay? And
Okay.
so you don't have to take the stuff home either. Let me look that up and I'll put it in the chat. And you put any other case number that's concerning in the chat because I see your emails a lot. So um
Yes.
you're my friend.
Thank
And
you.
I'll be able to email you back directly in regards to those. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, June. Tom Schwab?
Hi, Tamika. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Excellent, excellent. Hey, I'm just following up on a topic we discussed, the intersection of North Highland and East Rock Springs. We talked about it in this forum back in September, I think it was. And a couple of cases were created and they still haven't been resolved. It's been about over 6 months now. The completion target date was back in December, and I can't even find these cases in the 311 system now. So
Do-
do you mind if I send you a private chat with those case numbers?
Sure.
And if you could look into
Yeah,
those, I'd
please.
appreciate it.
Yes, please do that. I was gonna say send the chat or remind me which email you used and I could try to find it that way. But yes, most
No,
definitely.
no worries. I'll email. I'm trying to private chat you now and it's locked up, but
Okay.
I'll send you an email with it.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Is that something that Clyde Mitchell can help with?
Yes.
Mis- Mr. Mitchell was involved actually. I'm looking at an email from is it Helena Vieira? Um, ATL 311 social media escalations, and it went to Mr. Mitchell back on September 11th. So Office of Ombuds was involved. Um,
And that's why I want to try to look them up and see what the status are on them.
Perfect.
Sometimes
I'll just forward you
we'll
this.
have more information on the case. So yeah.
Great. I'll
Okay,
just
I'm just coming in on the tail end. I'm doing double duty. This. Hey, Tom, welcome
hey,
back.
Clyde, how you doing?
Is that something? Did I miss something?
This was that intersection of North Highland, East Rock Springs we talked about 6, 7 months ago, and
Oh,
you were very helpful escalating it. And we received a response back. 3 cases were created. One has been addressed and closed. The other 2 are still open.
okay, okay. Um, Tamika does a great job of copying me on that also, so I can see if I can get back in there and follow up.
No problem. I'll see
And
if I
I'm
can forward this back out to everybody.
okay, good. And I'm in and out, guys. I got double duty this evening.
No
Okay,
problem. Thank you very
Okay.
much, Tamika and Clyde. Appreciate it.
thank you. Tamika, anything else?
No. We are encouraging you guys to sign up for the notify me for the severe weathers that we're having so that you'll know if your area is going to be affected, and it also lets you know if any water issues are in your area. Other than that, we are good to go.
Okay, great. Thank you. And thank you again for being here. Alrighty, Public Works Code Enforcement.
Good evening, Debbie. Good evening, everyone at NPU. First and foremost, I want to start off with bulk collection. Actually, your bulk collection now, oh, what happened there? My bad. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, your bulk collection now will be scheduled on the day of your trash and recycle collection. Um, the Whenever you have bulk debris, please ensure that you do not create one pile. That means your trash and your recycling, all of those in one pile. Ensure that you separate your debris. It's still 12 bulk collection for the year. I just implore residents to use their bulk collection wisely. For example, if you have a small outdoor chair, which is wood, which can be broken down and disposed of in your trash bin, please do so. For the month of March, the city have been collecting your yard debris on a weekly basis. So actually, every resident should have been getting 3 service on their collection day. If for any reason your yard trimming was not collected, please reach out to ATL 311 to report that miss. I just want to emphasize for those who are put in large tree stump in the paper bag. These are not advisable because your paper bag is somewhat delicate and porous, so extra weight will cause them to tear. If you're using a container, please be reminded that it must not be greater than 32 gallons, and the weight of 35 pounds still remain maximum. That's it for me. Is there any question, concern?
Officer Francis, I just want to make sure I understand what you said. Bulk collections will be on the same week as your regular collections?
That's correct.
Okay, so we need to have
Yes, you still have to schedule for your bulk collection. So it's not automatic that the same week they will collect your bulk. You still have to schedule. You still have to call into ATL 31 or go online, whichever one, to schedule for your bulk. But the collection day that you'll get will fall on the day of your trash and recycle collection.
Oh, okay, cool. Rich Sussman?
Yeah, at last month's NPU meeting, I'm not sure if it was you, Mr. Francis, or another representative from Public Works, had mentioned there would be a Public Works ombudsman for each council district, and we would hear a little bit more about it this month. Do you have any more information on that?
Actually, that's what it is. And you know that NPU run across more than one council district. I can send Debbie the list of the person assigned to the respective council district so that the NPU can be aware of who those officers are.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll get those out to the neighborhoods.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions before we move on? All righty. Thank you for being here, Officer Francis.
Appreciate you. Have a great one.
Thank you. Is there anyone here from Parks and Recreation? Watershed Management? The City Solicitor? Okay. And we heard from Clyde Mitchell earlier. Clyde, are you able to jump off your other meeting?
Yes, I can say my spiel right quick. Good evening, everyone. My name is Clyde Mitchell. I'm your neighborhood relations manager. My contact information I will be putting in the chat. I usually have it in there by now, but we're going crazy. Please be in touch. Well, let me say it this way. Please continue to be in touch with me if I can assist you in surfacing concerns to departments, help you find information, mediate discord, and explore options to resolve outstanding constituent and neighborhood issues. And what we're saying about that, similar to what Tom had out there, if you have situations that you have case numbers on and things have not been remediated according to the SLA, and you've given them opportunities to, please send me an email with that case number, which is my basis to get started to try to escalate your issues or your concern so we can take care of that. We've been with you for a while. You know what we can do. So please use us. That's all I have, Debbie. I'm open for any questions.
Okay, anyone have any questions so that Clyde can go back to his other meeting? Okay, I don't see any Clyde, but we know where you live.
All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Oh, Ryan Howard, do you have a question?
Yeah. Hey, Clyde, real quick.
Hey, Ryan.
We did have a case number out, which I can put in the chat, and we were still waiting to see about some resolution. It went in the beginning of February, but I don't think we've heard anything.
So, what I would like for you to do, go ahead and email me. I work
Okay.
best from the
All right.
email. Give me the case number and the history behind that, and we'll see what we can do for you. And my information should be in the chat.
Got it.
Okay, cool beans. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Brian. Okay, are there any other city departments that I missed? Oh, okay, I don't see anyone. Are there any elected officials or representatives from a elected official's office? Okay, they probably took one look at our agenda and decided not to come. Then what we will do now then is move to the consent agenda. As I mentioned earlier, these are applications that the NPU traditionally has approved without any discussion. So let me go through the special events first. There are 4. The first is Indigenous House Atlanta. John Dennis is the event organizer. John, are you here tonight? I don't see your name. Okay, this event's to take place on May 17th, 2026 in Piedmont Park. It's a Class E event, 1,000 participants, and it is a recurring event. If they were present, the recommendation would be approval. The next event is the 19th Annual Atlanta HBCU Alumni Alliance 5K Run Walk. Aaron Thomas Rowell, are you here, Aaron? Or someone representing the HBCU 5K Run Walk? Okay. This is also in Piedmont Park, June 27th. It's a Class D event, 5,000 participants, and it's a recurring event. We've seen them many times before. The next one is the Atlanta Vegan Festival. Michelle Lewin, are you here or someone representing the festival? Okay. I don't see Michelle. That is also in Piedmont Park, July 12th, Class E 500 participants. And the last is Showcase Atlanta, Lamar Stewart. Are you present? Okay, well, this is going to make my host meeting follow-up pretty quick. Okay. So none of the 4 special events applicants who are not present. We'll remove them from the consent agenda. I'll call them one more time when we get to their regular spot in the regular agenda. And Katie, do you want to do the BZA applications on the consent agenda?
Sure. I'm going to read through these, and if we have questions or whatever, or Debbie, stop me if I'm leaving something out. The first one on there is application V25-248. That's 901 Los Angeles. The applicant is reducing the front yard setback. And VHCA voted to defer that one.
Okay.
The next one is V2627. That's 1516 North Morningside Drive. They're wanting to reduce the half depth of the front yard from 17 feet to 5 feet, 17 and a half to 5 feet. MLPA, David Law, they voted to approve that. The next one.
Do you want to give them a little background on why they wanted to approve it?
Yes, but it's very tiny writing on here.
Oh.
You want me to do it for you, Katie?
Do it, David.
Hey, the construction is actually happening underneath the house, so there's really nothing coming up above grade that would do any damage or anything that the neighbors will notice. They're expanding their basement and digging out the crawl space. The existing house is already at the 5-foot setback, so it's not encroaching any further.
Okay, and you also conducted a site visit and the neighbors were notified and there was no opposition.
Exactly.
Alrighty.
All right, so David is the guy on the next one too. It's V2629, which is 1237 Lanier. And the applicant wants a variance to reduce the rear yard setback from 15 feet to 3.6. David, you want to talk about that?
This is rebuilding an existing garage and doing an expansion to it. The rear setback, 3.6 feet, is where the current garage is sitting. The reason for the variance is because he is making it 2 feet longer. So that 3.6 will continue out for another 2 feet. Since he's rebuilding on the exact footprint, we felt that this was not a problem, and neighbors were notified and no opposition, and site visits were completed.
All right, the next one, also David Law and MLPA.
Roll tonight.
You are. They vote to approve. It's V2628. That's 1941 Lennox Road. And David.
Okay, this one is for a fence in the front yard, and it is requesting a 5-foot variance on a special exception on this because those are the stone posts that will actually be anchoring the 4-foot fence that's in between it. This is a after the fact approval because the contractors did not apply for permits to do this, and the homeowners were put in all kinds of peril for this. But we did a site visits. We notified all the neighbors. There was no opposition, and we felt that this was a good addition to the neighborhood.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, is there anyone here who is in opposition to any of the recommendations on the BZA list? Anyone here in opposition or wants to have one of the applications pulled off the agenda? Alex?
Yeah, thank you. Just a point of clarification, was V2616 also discussed yet?
The V2616? Nope, we haven't gotten to that one yet.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone? Any other questions? Okay, I don't see any. So is there a motion to approve the 4 BZA applications only?
So moved.
And that's David
I will second that.
and Katie.
Debbie, question?
Yes, sir.
We're approving and deferring one? Is that what the motion is?
Yes, we're approving. What we're voting on is to approve the recommendations of the consent agenda for the BZA applications.
Got it. Thank you.
Which includes the deferral. And thank
Got
you for clarifying.
No worries. Thank you.
Takes a former chair to pick this stuff up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, for this, we need to take a vote. All those in favor of approving the motion to recommend approval of the recommendations on the consent agenda, the BZA zoning applications, and not the special events, please raise your hand. And since this is the first time we're voting, if anyone's having trouble finding their raise your hand, please let us know and maybe someone can help you. Can't guarantee it, but sometimes you will. Okay, has everyone voted that wants to vote? Alrighty, I count 16. Let me just make sure there's no double votes in here. Okay. I'm going to lower the votes. Is there anyone that is opposed to approving the recommendations of the BZA applications on the consent agenda? If you're opposed, please raise your hand. Okay, I don't see anyone in opposition. So by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays, the BZA application recommendations are approved. Okay. I'm going to take this in a little different order that's on the main agenda, but bear with me, we should get to everything. The next items on the agenda are the alcohol license applications. Ryan, do you want to handle these? Or I can, let me know.
Yeah, I can handle.
Cool. Go ahead.
So the first one up is for 1811 Piedmont Avenue, Fat Matt's Rib Shack, change of agent, consistent with selling beer on premises. We have Kelly on the call. Kelly, if you just want to introduce yourself and just give us the brief overview.
Hi, my name is Kelly Harper. I'm married to Matt, Fat Matt's, and after 35 years, we're doing like a semi-retirement, but we have brought on another partner who's been here for 4 or 5 years. This is Lisa, and so we are changing that and just cutting back a little bit of being here for 80 hours a week.
And Lisa, you're Lisa Durham, the agent?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, absolutely. My name's Lisa Durham. I've been in the restaurant business for a very long time. I started out at waiting tables at Taco Mac in Virginia Highlands. I was there for 10 years and then went on to open my own Taco Mac down in Stockbridge. As Taco Mac was bought out, I was the only independent one left. So my contract was over in 2022, but I came on with Fat Matt's, which I've always wanted to open a Fat Matt's. So this was like a dream come true. And so so as that closed, then I came over here and have been working here since then. So I've got extensive knowledge with how the alcohol system works, with the licensing and all that. So I have extensive restaurant experience in managing and ownership.
Okay, and have you ever had an alcohol license before?
Yes, ma'am. At the Taco Mac at Stockbridge, I had a license for 24 years.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Is there anything else that you all want to offer?
We love this neighborhood and we're just still happy to be here as a local restaurant. Yeah.
I live
Fat
directly
Matt's been
behind
around
you,
for-
so I
In,
live directly behind you, so I get to smell it every day, and it's a good thing.
I'm still, after 35 years, I'm still not tired of the smell.
okay, any questions for Kelly, Matt, or Lisa? If you have a question, please raise your hand. Tom?
Yeah, Kelly, you're still going to be involved in the management, just in a diminished capacity?
Yes, I am. I'm here every Monday. I do payroll, pay all the bills. I walk in all the time just to make sure all my employees are still doing what they should be doing. So, and Matt
Great.
is too.
I'm still here.
Matt's still here too.
Excellent. Well, keep
Way
it up.
back.
Love Fat Max. Thank you.
And so he fixes all the equipment and my brother's involved too. It's very family oriented and we're very, very happy to have Lisa involved with our family and we treat everybody here like a family. Yeah.
So Lisa has been coming here since 1990.
Yes.
And that's how we met, and we've been friends since then. And when her Taco Mac game plan petered out, that's the first thing I did was get a hold of her and say, "Come on board."
And I was more than happy to do so. It was like a dream come true.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions? Okay, is there a motion? Someone want to make a motion?
To approve. Motion to approve.
Okay, Ryan, thank you.
I'll second. Tom?
Tom. Okay, are there any questions or commentary on the motion to approve the Fat Max change of agent? If not, if you're in favor of the motion, please raise your hand.
Like that.
And
You're
whose thumbs up is
You're going to confuse everybody, Debbie. You're going to get all thumbs up now instead of raised hands.
it disappears after 10 seconds.
Still can't find the little hand, so y'all are way ahead of me.
Okay. We'll help you if you want to. Okay, I see 15 votes. Is there anyone opposed to Fat Max change of agent application? Oops, I guess I have to lower your votes. I am really out of practice here. Okay, if you're in favor, if you're opposed to the motion to approve the application, please raise your hand.
Thank you very much. I look forward to meeting all of you.
Great. Thank you. We'll look forward to seeing you. Okay, by a vote of 15 ayes and 0 nays, the motion to approve carries.
Next one on the list is 1017 North Highland Avenue, Southern Fox Restaurant. The applicant is Rachel Park, who is on the call. It is a change of ownership to sell beer, wine, liquor. Rachel, do you want to give us a little background on who you are and what you're doing?
Absolutely. My last name is Pack. A little typo there, but happens all the time. But my name is Rachel Pack. I'm the owner of Kinship Butcher Sundry, right on the corner of Virginia and Highland. We're about to hit our 5th birthday coming up this August. We have been working with George Frangos, the owner of Farm Burger, for the past 2 years, and we took over their lease. So we're opening a restaurant. My partner is the chef and 50% owner of Kinship as well. He's a homegrown Atlanta boy, but we met in New York City in the restaurant industry. But we are opening up a neighborhood casual, same ethos as Kinship. So farm to table, we're sourcing the meats from my butcher shop, sourcing the vegetables from our farmer friends, trying to put a pin in the South without being overly skewed Southern. But I'm a sommelier as my day job before I became an owner. So with this restaurant, we'd love to serve wine and cocktails and a few beers.
Have you guys ever had an alcohol license before?
Kinship Butcher Sundry has a specialty alcohol license, yes.
Does anybody have any additional questions?
Rachel, when do you expect to open?
We're saying early summer. It is a third generation restaurant, so it's there's no changes, big changes. The hood's already there, so just working on fresh coat of paint. So we're hoping for late May, early June.
Are there any other questions?
I think Kay has a question. Hi, Kay.
Kay, go ahead.
Hi, can you just quickly tell us a little more about what the menu is going to be?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is, I guess, contemporary New American. I wouldn't quite say it's a Southern restaurant. We like to say that there may be collard greens on the menu, but they're not stewed collard greens. They might be in a different form. Miles, my chef husband, we met at a restaurant in Brooklyn. It was a 2-star Michelin Scandinavian restaurant, which incorporated a lot of preservation and fermentation, which are also, historical building blocks of Southern cuisine as well. So there will be some elements of that, but really it's farm to table. We're our farmer network that we've built over the last 5 years. They say this is what's in season, and we say, great, bring it our way. But he's from 11 Madison Park, Blue Hill Stone Barns. He started his career at Holman and Finch Restaurant Eugene. So it's a neighborhood a la carte, probably 16 items. So it's not too fancy. It's a stop in for a glass of wine and a bite, but not quite like wine bar or tapas easy. Yeah.
And is it going to be just dinner or lunch and dinner or breakfast? What's the schedule?
For now, it's just going to be dinner till we get our feet wet, and then we may introduce lunch on the weekends.
Great. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, I don't see any. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Okay, Ryan.
I'll second.
And that was Kay. Any questions about the motions? Alrighty. A motion's been made and it's been properly seconded to approve the change of ownership for SoFox. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Has everyone voted that wants to vote, or has everyone found the raise your hand function?
Debbie, I never found it. It's normally under my more button. I'm doing it on an iPhone, but I'll raise it manually, but
okay. So I will just add one more to the count. I see 15 hands raised on participant list plus Tim, so that's 16 ayes. Let me lower the hands. Is there anyone that's opposed to the SoFox application for a change of ownership? If you're opposed, please raise your hand.
Rob, don't scare me like that. I saw hands.
Okay, I don't see any hands raised. So by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays, the motion carries.
Thank you all so
We look
much.
forward to your being open.
So are we. We can't wait. We love what we do.
Great.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Okay. This is always a little tricky for me. Okay, we're now going to move into the BZA applications. The first is okay. B2615. This is at 609 Cumberland Road Northeast. The applicant seeking a variance to increase the lot coverage from 50% to 54.17%. This did not make the consent agenda because the vote of the MLPA Planning Zoning Committee had some opposite, or their vote was to not support the application, but MLPA board voted to support it. Is the applicant present?
Yes, they're Jan Winborn's here and Don Minton is also here.
Don, he said his Zoom just crashed.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'll start this one, Jan. Maybe with the concern that we had, and the variance reads harsher than it is. The current lot coverage is 51.8 right now. Because it's a non-conforming lot and it's already over the 50% limit. So they're only going up 2% really, not the full, what looks like 4%. Since we've met, since the zoning committee had our meeting, Jan and Don had put together a list of items that they were going to remove from the pervious or the impervious properties on the lot, which brought it back down into a more reasonable level that the MLPA board felt needed to be supported. The zoning committee supports that decision also. And neighbors were all notified and no neighbors actually opposed it. And the neighbor that's directly on the side where the addition is going to be put was in favor of the construction.
Okay, Jan, do you want to explain what the addition to your house?
Yeah, I'll be happy to. It's a small screen porch on the side of my house. It's, I think Don's trying to get back on, but it's 159 square feet. I think with the stairs, it's like 202. And so, we took seriously the objections, and the concerns, I guess, really, that the committee had, and they did do a site visit. So we went back and looked at where could we reduce the impervious. And it was actually not terribly hard. And so we went to from 202 square feet down to about 87.4. And that's just by taking some stone out of my front yard, some edging on that side where the porch is. What else was it? The landing to the stairs, using pervious material there instead of concrete. And then there was a bench also that we could remove. So, we really were able to reduce that impervious by more than half. And yeah, I think it was a really good learning. It's a good lesson to me. I think I would tell people that it's something you really need to do at the front end. And I think that, we were seeing it as, oh, we would have to take off the deck or, like major things. But when you really start looking on the what I'm trying to say, this thing, the
survey.
Yeah. When you start looking there, you see what's all listed, and you can see how easily you can actually negate some of that. So we were pleased that we had a chance to come back and respond that way.
And have you revised your site plan?
So this is where I wish Don was back on. He's been working on putting all of those things, I believe, into the permit. They're all pretty easily removable They're just items that can be removed from the property.
Are there any questions for Jan or Ryan?
Okay.
I don't have a question. I was on the call when the MLPA board reviewed, and I'll just make the comment that yes, the lot coverage is a zoning matter, but the concern was coming back to what the lot coverage was going to do to stormwater runoff and why the pervious surfaces mattered. And we discussed that stormwater runoff is not a zoning matter, but is handled through the permitting process and watershed management's review of the permit and how stormwater collection is handled. So in addition to reducing pervious surfaces, there's also other ways that the stormwater can be handled. So that this is a pretty low risk situation.
Okay, thank you. Rich?
So what will the application say? Increase the lot coverage from 51.8 to what? Is it still 54%, or with these reductions will be somewhere between 51.8 and 54%?
So,
It will be more along the lines of a 52.5.
Okay. Thank you.
Good question.
So will we be voting on what is written here, or will we be voting on something different?
We can vote on something different. We don't have to vote on the actual, on
Okay.
54.8.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or discussion, or is there a motion?
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. And the second was Ryan. Okay. Now, David, is your motion to approve 54.17 or
For simplicity's
52.5?
sake, since the MLPA voted to approve the application as presented, I would continue that.
Okay. If we approve the 54.17%, and the BZA approves it, then we only have the kindness of the neighbors to actually make that decision. So I just want to, they could decide not to make any of those changes.
Get that.
Right.
I feel comfortable that Jan will make the correct decisions.
I'm going to second that.
Okay, so the motion is to approve the lot coverage reduction from 50% to 54.17%. Okay, and I will note that
Richard has his hands up.
Debbie, is there some way we can make a comment on this, that in fact some additional measures will be taken to reduce the impervious surface to approximately 52.5%? Is there a comment that we can include so when the BCA sees this, they can understand that there will be further reductions made? Or how will that be? How will that be?
I can do that.
I think that would be proper.
Okay, does everyone understand the motion? The motion is to approve the application as submitted, which is to 54.17%. And as part of our recommendation, I will note that the applicant at the NPU meeting will be taking additional measures to reduce the lot coverage further to about 50, oops. And I didn't write down 52%.
52.5, somewhere in that range.
Yeah. Been making crazy notes, but somehow didn't get that down. Okay. All right. Any questions about the motion? All right. Everybody feel comfortable to vote? If you're in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Whose thumbs up is that? Oh, disappeared. Okay. There's another thumbs up. It's not showing up on my screen. Weird. Okay. All right. I see 12 eyes. Well, 11 eyes. If you're opposed to the motion to increase the lot coverage to 54.17%, please raise your hand. If you're opposed, please raise your hand. Okay, I don't see any votes. So by a vote of 11 ayes and 0 nays, the motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay. The next application is V2616 1093 Amsterdam Avenue. The applicant seeks a variance to increase the lot coverage from 50% to 55%. That was one. Number two is to allow single-family detached dwelling to not have front porch on the facade of the principal structure. 3, to allow the front door to not face and be visible from the adjacent street. And a special exception to number 4, allow number of retaining walls within the required front yard to exceed from 3 to 6. Is the applicant present? Applicant present? Okay, I don't hear the applicant. Is there anyone from Virginia Highland that wants to make a comment? Alex Isikoff, did you have a question or comment?
I had a comment on the application, but I don't know if this is the right time to make it.
Well, we're talking about the application now, so
Yeah, so this is it.
good time.
Yeah. Well, so my wife is also here, and I had 2 questions about the application, which we reviewed. The first is on the lot coverage to 55%. And I think that also relies on permeable pavers to get to that. I think if you take the permeable pavers out of it, it gets to around 60%. So my question, and I don't know the answer to it, is what does that mean for stormwater drainage? We're the house adjacent to the east, and by some measure, a bit downhill. So I just raised that question, and I don't know who else would have had to review the application that might be able to answer that question.
Okay, my recommendation is for you to attend the Virginia Highland Planning Committee meeting, which is the first, I'm sorry, is it, Tim, help me out here.
It's the Wednesday before our VHCA board meeting.
Which is the second Monday of the month. Do you know the date?
Hold on. The next one is it will be the first Wednesday of the month. So hold on, I'll tell you in a moment for our planning meeting. But yeah, we would need to discuss it at VHA planning.
Yeah, and
BCA date you're asking about, Debbie, is April 2nd.
April 2nd, okay.
Thank you. I was pulling up my calendar.
So
I should join that. Is that right?
Yeah, that's my recommendation. They have a very robust discussion about applications. Can someone let Alex and his wife know how to join Zoom, or your planning committees are all on Zoom, right? So,
I can facilitate that.
okay, great. Thanks, Katie.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for being here
Debbie,
today.
if it's at the NPU now, it's already been to their zoning meeting.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah, this one, we didn't have this
Okay.
one.
Okay.
This was one of them that got
Ah,
lost in the emails.
lots of emails.
And
Okay.
when I contacted the applicant, they had not had an opportunity to talk to their neighbors. And then, this is more background, but I called the assigned planner for this application, and they told me that the request to allow a number of retaining walls within the required front yard to exceed from 3 to 6 was not something that the BZA was authorized to do. So they were asking that the applicant either, I guess, to submit a new site plan, and they would get a new referral certificate. And the reason why there are so many retaining walls there is because the retaining walls are split by either a driveway or a walkway.
Okay.
And so that's 2 retaining walls, 1 on each side. So that's just made it a lot more complicated for it. But hopefully by the April 2nd meeting, we'll be able to work that out. Okay, so I think the appropriate action here is to defer the application to our April NPU meeting.
Debbie, I make a motion to defer.
Thank you, Tom. And is there a second?
I'll second it. Tim?
Okay. David, I heard Tim's voice first. Okay, are there any objections to deferring the application to April? Hearing none, the motion carries by unanimous consent. Okay, and I think that's it for, yes, it is. That's it for BZA applications. Before we move to special events, I wanted to do the 2 other zoning cases. These are annexations. There are 2 applications. We haven't done an annexation in about a year, so let me remind you of our role in the process. The NPU does not have an opportunity to make a recommendation on whether to support or oppose an annexation. This is a statewide state law process. And so our only responsibility is to comment or approve or not support the conversion of DeKalb County CDP designations as well as the zoning designations. So since the application is to move from DeKalb County to the city of Atlanta, they need new codes. And that's essentially all we're doing is approving those codes. My understanding is that there is one property owner for 6 parcels. He owns all of the parcels. These are multi-family buildings. The current zoning, I don't have, is for multifamily, and the recommendation is to move it to medium density residential land use. We need to do the CDP first, because first we have to approve, first we need to decide what we want to do with the land, and then we decide how it's going to be zoned. If any of that makes sense, let me know. If it doesn't make sense, let me know. So first of all, let me ask you if there's any questions about the annexation themselves. Louis Meyer? Do you have a question?
Hello. I'm a property owner in Piedmont Heights. I'm also the president of the Woodland Hills Neighborhood Association, which is the association that these properties uh, reside in, and apparently will continue to be in after the annexation. I'm also on the Community Council District 2 for DeKalb County, which is the functionally the same community input fee that the NPU system is for City of Atlanta. We were completely taken by blindsided by this. There was no notification to the neighborhoods. There was no notification to the neighbors. There was no notification to Michelle Long Spear's office that there was an annexation going on. We have contacted um, uh, Alex Wan's office, and apparently they knew about it. And I talk with Alex fairly regularly, but there was no communication with me between myself and him. And we're not hard to reach. I mean, we have a website and, official emails, but there's been no communication. Um, we would like to officially request a deferment of both of these issues, at least for one cycle to the April meeting or two cycles to the May meeting. So we will have a chance to contact the neighbors, both in Lindridge Martin Manor and in Woodland Hills, to get a consensus, any kind of input from the immediate neighbors of um, the annexation and these two modifications.
Okay, unfortunately, I'm going to have to rule that out of order. Annexations are subject to state law, and there is a timeline that goes with it. If the applicant is willing to defer, then they can do that through Alex Wan's office, and he can hold things up, but we can't defer it at the NPU level.
Can just these two issues be deferred separately from the annexation?
No, because it's part of the annexation. Doug Doug Young, is there anything that you can offer to help me out here?
No, I can't, Debbie. I'm not too familiar with that, but they do typically move as a package. So
That's what I thought. Okay. I don't know what the time frame is to move this through council. But let me just say, it is not unusual for neighborhoods to be notified of an annexation. We've done a number of these with the Druid Hills neighborhood, and most of them did not go through Druid Hills at all. Although and oftentimes we don't even get much notice that they're going to be on the agenda. This one just happened to time out so that it made it to the agenda, but normally they don't. Rich?
Looking at a couple things, looking at the map, Lindridge Martin Manor, I pointed out to Debbie that it's a strange boundary. And there's a couple of maybe one or two parcels of land that are sort of in between land that may be annexed. So I guess the landowners of the land that would be included in the annexation, some of those landowners decided not to be included. So you basically have to opt in. So it makes for a strange boundary. Secondly, I think those if this annexation goes through, I think those properties would be then included within Lynn Martin Manor. I think. I'm not sure. But I would think the city would then redraw the boundaries, and the nearest neighborhood association is Lynn Martin Manor.
I would suspect you're right that it would go into Lindridge Martin Manor. Concerning the boundaries, my understanding is that it's one property owner for all 6 parcels.
There's one in between. Remember
Right, but
Yeah.
he does not own the property in between. He
Okay.
just owns the parcels that are going into Atlanta. And one of those parcels is actually partly in Atlanta and partly in DeKalb, unincorporated DeKalb. So he's trying to get them all in to one jurisdiction. It's crazy. And I did talk to Alex's office today about that, and he reiterated it. Kate, do you have
I'm
your-
not sure if this is relevant or not. I'm just curious. Is there a reason we know why Councilmember Bakhtiari put this legislation through and not Alex?
And I asked Lance that question this very afternoon. It's because she's on the zoning committee, and they called her and asked her if she would sponsor it.
Okay.
I'm not sure why Alex didn't, but
right,
he didn't. Lewis.
We also, looking at the map, there's also a question about the property. It's listed as 1220, but I think there's actually 3 addresses on that property. There's a concern there that there's not sufficient contact with the rest of the properties. I think state requirement for annexation requires a 50-foot interface, and I don't think that there's a full 50-foot interface between the property to the east and the rest of the properties. There's at least 2 properties, maybe 3, that are bisected by the city limits and Fulton County border. And there's quite a bit of that in our neighborhood. So we're not, that's not something we're unexperienced with. And we're not particularly disenchanted with the idea of the annexation. That's not what we're fighting. We're fighting here is that we need it would be at least appropriate for the neighborhood to have gotten notification and have been able to contact the immediate neighbors of this change just to get a confirmation that they're all good with it.
And it really doesn't matter if they're good with it or not.
Yeah, I mean, but then that brings up the point of why does this come before the NPU system at all? If the vote doesn't carry any weight, then why vote on it at all?
Well, and let me go back to what I said, and maybe I wasn't very clear. We're not voting on the annexation itself. All we're voting on is the designation that DeKalb County has given it for its land use as well as its zoning designation. It is just a conversion. So if these were single-family residences, they would have residential zoning designations in DeKalb County, and we would convert them to R4, R3, depending on the size of the property. In this case, they are all multifamily units, and the recommendation for the CDP designation is medium density residential.
Right.
And for the zoning designation to MR2, which is multifamily residential. That is the only responsibility of the NPU.
Right, I understand that. But these 2 issues, if all of this rides together, and it's all contingent on the annexation, and we don't necessarily have any, like I said, don't have any specific disagreement with the annexation itself. Um, the why do these two rezonings, if you will, need to come in front of the NPU system at all?
Because it's a change to the CDP map
Right.
and when I say change, it's an extension of the CDP map. So anything that is modified in the CDP would come through the NPU. And the same thing is true for the zoning.
Right.
Louis, I can put you in touch. I don't know the applicant, but I do know the attorney for the applicant. I heard from him from a couple days ago, so I can put him in touch with you to discuss your concerns, but I will tell you that it is not standard practice to engage the neighborhoods or to even ask, to ask their opinions or to engage the adjacent neighbors. This is a essentially administrative function for the NPU. But I don't think we have the option to defer it.
Okay. And apparently not the option really to deny it either. That I know that it's when it's inside the county requires notification from a city to pull. They require a discussion with the county before a county city can pull properties from unincorporated to incorporated into DeKalb County. And I was under the impression that that was a statewide requirement.
And yes, a letter was sent to DeKalb County regarding the annexation. I don't know the date of it, but a letter was sent, so they were advised. I'm not sure why the commissioner was not advised, or maybe she was, but at it was not as timely.
Yeah.
Let me be clear. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I mean, this is not, I'm not trying to be combative with you. We were taken aback and offended by the process, not necessarily by the NPU's involvement in it.
Well, I'm sorry that you were offended. This is the standard process for the city. We haven't had a relationship with Woodland Hills. And so, and I'll take responsibility for not contacting that organization. I did advise Lindridge Martin Manor as soon as I got the application to let them know, but I did not have a contacts or know who to contact in Woodland Hills.
Wouldn't be your responsibility.
And what I would ask now is that we just move forward if there's no one else that wants to speak on this issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to agree that the proper CDP designation would be medium density residential for these multifamily units. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Rich, that was you?
Yes.
I'll second.
And that was Kay?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I think we need to take a vote on this. Are there any questions about the motion to approve the CDP designation to medium density residential? Seeing now, let's take a vote. Stop sharing my screen. Y'all can see that. Okay. Has everyone voted that wants to vote? Okay, I see 10 ayes. I'm going to lower my feedback. If you're opposed to the motion to approve the land use designation as MDR, medium density residential, please raise your hand. Okay, I'm seeing 2 nays. So by a vote of 10 ayes and 2 nays, the motion carries. The next thing that we need to do is to approve the zoning designation for the medium density residential land use designation. The recommendation is MR2, multifamily residential zoning district. This would change upon annexation into the corporate limits of the city of Atlanta. Is there any discussion regarding this request? Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Rich.
Second.
Second, Kay. Okay, all those in favor of the motion to recommend or to approve MR2 as the zoning designation, please raise your hand. Has everyone voted that wants to vote? I don't see the number changing. I see 10 ayes. Okay, let me lower the votes. If you're opposed to the motion to change the zoning designation to MR2, please raise your hand. I see 1 nay. By a vote of 10 ayes and 1 nay, the motion carries. Louis, let me offer you this. I will check to see exactly where this property, which neighborhood it'll land in. And as I do for other applications in the DeKalb County area, once I have the contacts for neighborhoods in that general area, I do advise them when anything comes up. That's been my commitment to them, especially if it's zoning changes that are nearby or whatever we know, so that you all know what's happening in the area. But that is at this point, I'm not sure there's anything else that I can offer you.
Debbie, if we after this, if this all goes through, we would like a contact. If you can get a contact to Debbie so that our board can be in contact with the folks over in Woodland Hills.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I get notice from the city when an annexation comes through and they like prepare a letter that says, here are the things you need to know, like when your trash is going to get picked up and what neighborhood you're in, stuff like that. So I'll see if I can find out who does that so that we can.
And looking at the map too, part of that street looks like it's in DeKalb County, part of it's in the city of Atlanta. So I guess the appropriate agencies are going to have to figure that one out.
Oh yeah, these are never easy.
That is a problem that we have had in the past with people there close to the border trying to figure out when they dial 911 who's going to show up. And sometimes nobody does because they can't figure it out.
Well, I know, and it's an issue. The entire NPU-F is bordered by DeKalb County. So we've seen these issues before, and we've had a lot of annexations, especially in the Morningside area, a little bit in Virginia Highland, not too much, but mostly Morningside. In fact, we are the only NPU in the city that actually shares a neighborhood with another NPU, which is against city ordinance, but we're special. Okay, I am going to move on. What time is it? 8:48. Okay. To special events. And forgive me for going a little bit out of order. I'm going to call the applications that were not present when we did the consent agenda first, just to get them off the table. Is anyone here from Indigenous House Atlanta? Not present. Okay. Anyone here from HBCU Alumni Alliance? Also not present. Anyone here from the ATL Vegan Festival? Nope. And Showcase Atlanta? Okay. They are also not present. So they will be reported as did not show for the meeting. Okay, then let's go to the top of the list of the Atlanta Dogwood Festival. Rebecca Carter-Jones.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. Tell us what's going on with this year's Dogwood Festival.
90 years. We are asking for donations at the gate. We're not blocking anyone from coming in. So it's still, we're not a gated ticketed event. That's not what we applied for. We have made some reductions. We have gotten rid of our international stage, which I think we did during COVID. So we'll be combining that activity with our main stage. Other than that, the footprint is pretty much the same.
Anything else you want to share?
No, but hi. And I feel like I should be singing Ella Fitzgerald, At Last, At Last. I'm sorry I missed y'all twice.
And we are too. We always like to see you, Rebecca.
It's nice to see you.
Does anyone have any questions for Rebecca in the Dogwood Festival? They apparently have been in Piedmont Park for 90 years?
Yes, actually, we're the third oldest in the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Kay, did you have a question?
Is your security plan the same as it's been in the past?
It is. We are not shutting down any lanes. The bike lane will remain open. We do have the lane closure on the Grady side, and then we have a lane closure on Charles Allen to be able to park our staging vehicles. Chris Clark is still doing our security, so it's it literally is reverse and repeat. We did bid the project, but the vendors that we have are family. So Classic is still doing the tents. Chris is still doing the security. Witten is still doing the grounds cleanup. So it's our team.
Great, thanks.
No worries. Please come hang out.
Thank you. Any other questions? Is there a motion?
Move to
Move
approve.
to support the Dogwood Festival application.
I'll second.
Okay, and Rich? All right, all those in favor of supporting the Atlanta Dogwood Festival, please raise your hand.
Again, raising mine manually, Debbie.
Okay, so that would be 19 ayes and 1 thumbs up.
As is Rob Glancy, as is Linda Witt.
Oh, other people are raising their hands?
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear, okay, so that would take it up to 20. I can't see people when they raise their hand, so you sort of have to let me know. Oh, that takes us to 21. Okay, I'm lowering hands. If you raised your hand on screen, please lower your hand. All right, if you're opposed to the Atlanta Dogwood Festival, please raise your hand. Okay, I don't see anyone in opposition, so by a vote of 21 ayes and 0 nays, the motion carries.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you.
And Rebecca, I'm going to send you and other representatives of the Class A and Class B events that we've got on our schedule. Our no emergency parking list.
Oh, that's great. Yes, please.
Chris is very familiar with it.
No worries.
We've expanded it a little bit because some of the parking has moved over to the east of Monroe.
I understand.
They're real narrow streets and it's been causing some issues.
That'll be super helpful. And as you know, Debbie and your team knows, I'm available 24/7. So if anything comes up, by all means, feel free to call me. I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Thank you, Rebecca. We
Okay.
appreciate you very much.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thanks. Okay, the next application is Virginia Highland Porch Fest. Caitlin?
Hi, Debbie. How are you?
Okay, this is a Class B event, 49,999 participants and not a single person more in John Hall Park and other in other parts of Virginia Highland on May 16th, 2026. Caitlin, do you want to tell us what your plans are for?
Absolutely. Yeah, so we're super excited for this year's Porch Fest. We've made many changes that we actually have a presentation on. Katie Vilpool is also on this call, so I'm going to pass it over to her if she could share her screen.
Sure.
Perfect.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to share my screen quick. So we are back for our 6th year Porch Fest. We've been planning for about a year since the last one. We had a debrief at the NPU meeting right after Porch Fest and took a bunch of notes from that. So we have been working from neighbor feedback. If you aren't familiar, just want to do a quick overview. We in the past have had about 50 porches and 100 bands on those porches. We have a kids corner, vendors, food trucks, and it's a really big fundraiser for the Virginia Highland District Association, which is, kind of the acting business association taking care of the 100+ businesses from Morningside to Atkins Park. So we had heard some feedback, of course. Crowd control and improving flow was a really big one. We got a lot of people who felt kind of claustrophobic last year, was feeling a little unsafe. So we heard that, and we definitely want to add more infrastructure and services to help support that. We also heard encouraging other types of transportation to the festival since it is such a large festival. And for the residents and visitors, people who come into the festival, we were overall just looking for a more enjoyable, environment. So we heard a lot of, peeing on the yards and a little bit unruly. So we also heard, like Debbie was just saying, for Piedmont Park, the no parking signs on streets that are close by so that there's not a bottleneck of people parking on both sides. So we're making plans to remediate most of these things, and we hope, we can answer any questions. To make it super clear, we wanted to emphasize that we are doubling and sometimes, adding more than we had before. So last year we had 60 restrooms. This year we're going up to 110. We have a little bit over double or just under double the security officers. We're doing a general attendance cap of 40,000 people and an attendance permit. We're going up from I think it was Class B to Class C. We are also adding a bike ballet, which we're super excited about and working with the Bike Coalition to encourage people to bike over. That's going to be in the Field of Dreams area, in the Field of Dreams field. Another really big update is that we are decentralizing the footprint. So typically we would have all of the food trucks on Barnett and all of the art vendors on Adair. And we felt like that was a little bit our problem areas. So we are taking everything off of Barnett and we're going into a quadrant system. So Barnett will just have pedestrian walkways in the street and also lots of restrooms. It's gonna be like our main, I guess if it is a corridor, it's our main restroom corridor. And so each quadrant will have restrooms, bars, vendors, EMS, and water stations. So kind of hoping that people who join us come in, but don't necessarily have to go from one side of the festival to the other side of the festival and can find everything that they need, in one quadrant. So we've got the quadrants looking like this. Each of the streets where you would typically come in is still going to be an entrance. You can see we have the Field of Dreams marked off for bike ballet and a bunch of the trash and toilets along Barnett. Kids Corner is still going to be in John Howell Park. And yeah, so along Drury, we'll have our main kind of thoroughfare, and then also on Adair, but split up so that you have everything that you need. Another big change this year is that we are moving to a ticketed event. We are, as our biggest fundraiser, looking to maximize what we can do for Porch Fest and the brand. We don't want to be too limiting, so we did start off at a tiered ticket with $10 at launch. We're expecting 2 weeks out to go up to $15 and then $20 at the gate. For 18 and under, it's free admission with an ID or chaperone. So again, we're capping those tickets at 40,000 tickets. We think this will help manage the crowd control, but also bring a more intentional crowd to the neighbors. This will also help pay for all of the new infrastructure. So the community impact, like I was saying, typically this is our largest fundraiser for the year and helps us maintain our mission to beautify and make safe the North Highland corridor, as well as do more events, which we are rounding out our calendar nicely for, and also business promotion. We're really just taking care of the businesses and making Virginia Highland kind of the spot on the map that everyone has to visit and experience the community that we so adore. So another little shout out is a lot of the businesses do see their #1 day of sales as Porch Fest. And so we are also expanding the brand a little bit more into the week before Porch Fest. We're excited to do a few other collaborations on Wednesday with a In the Wild dating at Neighbors to meet your Porch Fest date. And then on Thursday, we're doing a sip and shop plus Thursday social club, I believe at Dad's. And on Friday, we are encouraging people to visit bars with DJs. So kind of trying to get people all week and maximize the impact. And we are open for questions.
Hey, Katie, this is Tim. Thank you for making these changes. Lindsay and the Premier team presented at the VHCA board meeting and planning meeting. We appreciate the engagement in these changes. Just something that, and maybe it's come up in prior ones. What do you do with the guys that a group that gets out of a car, pulls their wagon forward full of alcohol? I mean, are we going to? It sounds like guys are going to probably be turning away a lot of people who brought in coolers, wheeled coolers, or wagons with coolers and all that kind of thing. I mean, even neighbors do that too. It's not just people from the outside into the
Yeah,
event. I guess it'll just be turning people away. Hey, got to take that back to your car. Take that back to your house. Is that it?
exactly. We're definitely going to have bars there. There's going to be plenty to purchase, so we will be encouraging that. It is a public space, and we don't have quite a bit that much security to be, we're going to have to pretty much take it situation by situation, but we do have Chris Clark and we do have more security, so I think we'll have a bit of a better handle on that. I think in previous years we wouldn't even be able to touch that because we didn't have like any authority at the except for emergencies.
Hey, I just thought I had on it. Thanks.
Okay,
Thanks, Tim.
And
Betty?
a reminder, if you want to make a comment, please raise your hand. Betty Bauman.
Thanks.
Betty?
Yep, I've got it. Can we go back to the quadrant map, please?
Of course. Let me pull that up. There we are.
Okay. Can you explain just a little bit more about is this vendors and food trucks? What are the
dash lines?
Dash lines.
Yes, those are food trucks and vendors. Like last year we had about 35 to 40 food trucks along Barnett.
Right.
I don't think we're gonna get up to that number. We're probably gonna do 5 per zone and hopefully up to 10 vendors per zone. So 5 food trucks, 10 vendors. And we're currently working on fitting them in between the driveways and the host porches. So it will be a long walkway, but it will all be on one side of the street.
Okay, so yeah, I'm a little lost. I mean, our house is, can you see my arrow? I don't know if you can see it.
I can't. You're on Drury?
On Drury, a little bit west of Frederica.
Okay.
And so will there be food trucks in front of our house or artists in front of our house and we have a band?
If you have a band, you wouldn't have anything close by. We would just skip those houses and keep going.
Okay.
And it would be on the other side of the street, hopefully.
And where are you, as far as the food trucks go, I know when they were on Barnett, everybody was encouraged, I think, to head up toward the park if you wanted to eat lunch up there, but it seems like people just sort of sit wherever they can find a place.
Yeah.
And this, if you separate it out like this, that's just going to encourage people to sit in other neighbors' yards.
I think we'll probably encourage people to hang out more on Barnett.
So get their food on the food trucks up here and walk down to Barnett?
Yeah, Barnett's going to be kind of the biggest open space this time.
Katie, can you set up some tables and chairs along Barnett?
Absolutely. I think we should. We typically have high top tables. And so really anything that we would have, last year, we want to just kind of times it by 4. So we're going to have seating tables. I could do tables on Drury or on Barnett. I can do both. I think just overall more places to linger and not be, super surrounded by people. I think a place to sit would be great.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just Drury. It would be anywhere, any of these streets that aren't used to having this layout.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like if people get stuff from food trucks, where are they going to go with it? Just stand there and eat it or look for somebody's yard to sit in, which is kind of what happened last year. But that was along Barnett mostly.
Yeah, or they'll be looking for retaining walls.
Mm-hmm. Those are mostly side yards on Barnett too. So we're definitely, it's case by case, and it's more intricate to do the quadrants, but I think separating the people is really the goal. So I think if you don't want anything in front of your house, we're working through neighbor notifications, and if we can work around each
So you
neighbor.
will be notifying individual neighbors if there's going to be a food truck in front of their house?
That's the plan. Yes,
Okay.
we are just this week going out and kind of putting a more to scale map together, like on interactive Google Map. So this one's not necessarily to scale, but actually not to scale at all, but we'll know before April probably. And then we were waiting till after this NPU meeting to do our first neighbor notification and let all of the streets know kind of these changes and how to get in touch with us and all the things. Yeah, which is we're adding one more neighbor notification this year too, and we're mailing it instead of hand delivering it. So we're hoping that it has a high rate of read.
Betty, any other questions?
I'm good.
Okay, Tom?
Hey, Tom, I don't think I can hear you.
Yeah, unmute, please.
Well, that is a rookie mistake. I shouldn't have made that one.
Tom, you're so excited.
I'm out of practice. Debbie, I need to get back in the NPU.
Is the vice chair available?
Plug it in.
All right, real quick, Katie, I do want to say I love Porch Fest, and I do appreciate, the follow-up meeting last year we had after the festival, and obviously you listened to a lot of the good things the recommendations. I think that's clear in this presentation. And also thank you for putting a little table in of last year, this year. I think that was I think
That was
I
a
requested
recommendation
that.
from the Civic Association.
Oh, really? Okay. I thought I said that one too, but that's
Oh,
great.
yeah, maybe they said they'd be really clear. And we're like, we can do that.
In any event, I just want to make sure a couple things. One of the things we talked about, I thought last year was maybe reducing the amount of external advertising to try to limit the crowd size. Is that still something that you guys are thinking about, or
We're definitely waiting until the right moment. We have absolutely no idea what ticket sales is going to do to the brand. We don't know if it's going to launch and be super successful or we're going to not sell any tickets.
Yeah.
So it's a huge gamble there, but I think I don't really
Okay.
know.
So on the ticket sales, as I understand it, on your map where you had the stars at the entry points, are you going to essentially fence off this area and only have those entry points? Or, I mean, how does it work? There's actually a gate that people go through and somebody's taking tickets as they enter wherever there's a star?
Correct. So not all of the streets are open. You can see that the Ponce Terrace, Frederica,
Yeah.
and Highland View are not open. They'll just have cop cars and be ushered to either or street on the other side.
Okay.
Each street will have ticket check-in by QR code, so it should be pretty quick. We're also going to have like yard signs for ticket purchase. We'll have hot spots as well. So we're working with our ticketing company to make sure that that process is really smooth and basically people don't even remember paying and they just go and have the best time ever.
Make it painless. And so I'm assuming then you said you're capping at 40,000. So assuming it gets to be day of and there's still $20 tickets available, as these gates are selling, on the spot tickets, once you hit 40 grand or 40,000, they cut it off at that point.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Katie.
Yes. Thank you so much, Tom.
Okay.
Yeah, just to follow on both Tim and Tom's comments, relative to your communication plan, can you ensure that there is something in the communication plan to let people know that outside alcohol is not permitted?
I am going to have something on there. I don't think the plan is to say no outside alcohol. And that's mainly because the houses that live there, it's really not something that we can control. I think, like I said earlier, it's definitely going to be case by case and what the officers think that they can do. But I don't think that was our biggest issue last year. I think, we heard a lot of other things that were pretty big issues, and we think we're gonna really solve those things there. If it still is an issue this year, then I think next year we can put more emphasis on it.
Okay.
But yeah, for the marketing, we're not going super hard. We're waiting till the right time. We're not really releasing tickets till March 27th. So we'll really just have those 6 weeks to plan and prepare, and most of the messaging will be around the ticketing and a better experience and some of the week before things. So I don't think I don't know if we're so new here. We don't know if having a cap is going to like force them to buy quickly or not at all, or so we're definitely learning, but as we do every year, we hope to get better.
Katie, I've got a couple questions. I live in one of the zones.
Oh, nice.
Have you changed the footprint for this? Looks
No.
different than what was in your application.
Nope, it's just color coded differently. We're still not closing off Greenwood.
Okay.
It still goes from Virginia to Greenwood.
At the Virginia Highland Planning Committee, you mentioned that people that live within the footprint would be able to get free tickets.
Oh, that's my favorite point. Absolutely, Debbie. So too, since people already live there, we can't really, say don't go home. We would also like to thank the residents for their patience by offering residents within and adjacent to the festival footprint with free tickets. We're doing a registration link to verify your email, add your email to a list, and you can request up to 10 tickets for you and your friends. We're also doing the same with bands so that they can have friends and family come in with them as well. And I think we're just trying to figure out a band affiliate link that we might be able to encourage their local fans to come and see them here at Porch Fest. Because it's kind of a change too for the bands that we're ticketing, since they're playing for free. But yeah, free tickets. We would love to encourage locals to be here and support, but also, want to say thank you for kind of putting up with us for the weekend.
Okay, and it was also mentioned that during the festival itself, there would be no in or out of traffic.
Correct. So no car traffic after 10 a.m. and then the streets should open back up right at 6 when the festival is over. So then like all of the vendors can leave and there'll be a little bit more traffic. We'll also be pushing people over to the Atkins Park area and hopefully they stay a little longer.
Okay. And I had another question. Where are you telling people to park if they're coming from, say, Morningside?
From Morningside, I would probably say ride share, especially from Morningside. It's street parking. We're gonna definitely promote ride share though.
Okay, so you haven't made any arrangements with any of the larger parking lots?
We haven't formally, but we do assume that they're gonna do something like the YWCA and Vi High. Is there another parking lot you were thinking?
Well, I think Summerfest has used the church on North Island. The Lutheran church on North Island
Oh,
and
yeah. We can absolutely reach out to them. I mean, I think if anyone can make $1 that day, I think they should.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, we can put that on our list to reach out to the church and the school and YWCA too. If they have something formalized together, that could be better.
We've got a couple more hands raised. Catherine?
Hey, Catherine.
Thank you. Just a quick question. If we live in the zone, we want to go out of the zone, how do we get back into our house? Do we just show an ID?
Yes.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
we would ask that you park kind of hopefully outside of the zone and you can walk there. We will have golf carts if you have a special request. I'm going to put that on Caitlin's plate, but we'll definitely try to be as accommodating as possible to all residents.
Well, I was actually thinking more of like walking to one of the restaurants on North Highland and then
Oh,
getting
yeah.
back to my house.
Oh, yeah, for re-entry. So if you're in the festival and you leave, we are recommending that you get a wristband. So it's
Oh.
kind of faster free entry.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Betty?
Anything else, Catherine?
Oh, sorry.
Betty, go ahead.
Just real quick, on the chart that showed how many people you expect this year, I think it was you, right, okay. Your attendance permit is 40,000. No, the permit's 50 and your cap is 40. Do you have any idea how many people were there last year?
We estimated 50,000 last year from AI.
Okay.
It's kind of difficult because we just assume that the 10K is going to be
Right.
there, or maybe the free tickets that we give out. So we're kind of working off of that.
So wait, okay, so you think it'll be the same number of people counting the tickets that you give out?
I mean, we're being very generous. I think we don't like there's not 10,000 people who live there, so we're just really unsure. So we upped it to that class
Because
level.
last year you couldn't walk. And I thought you guys were going to try to reduce the number of people that were coming.
I think this will feel like a reduced number, especially because we're spreading everyone out a little bit more, but we also aren't sure exactly what we had last year. So I think we upped the attendance permit from last year, and we're hoping that I think after our first year and we see how many tickets we sell, we'll know a lot more information about how many people were there. But that's why we're doing the decentralized plus the ticketing this year, so it feels a little bit more spacious.
So can you keep us up to date on how many tickets you're selling so we
For sure.
and what your plans are? My personal concern is that people will discover that the homes that are on North Highland driveways go to an alley and they'll find their way into the zones and skip the ticket booths and walk, through my backyard to get to Rupley into the event. So I would like to know how to prepare for that.
I think
than having a
maybe a
hose.
Caitlin question on how we can prepare for that. I think bringing it up beforehand is a great idea for us to be able to prepare. I think hopefully that it's a low barrier enough ticket that they're not being like that, but we have seen people in the past. So we're happy to, look into that, especially Chris, look into that and
Right.
see what
And we can definitely utilize plenty of barricade as well. So that's definitely on the radar and something that we're talking through with Chris. So
Right. I just don't want my backyard to be used as a restroom because I don't have a back fence.
absolutely.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'm
I'll
sorry,
second.
Tom?
Tom, thank you. And who made the second?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, a motion's been made and properly seconded to approve Porch Fest application, the Class B event in Virginia Highland. Any questions about the motion? If you're in favor of the motion, please raise your hand.
Debbie, it looks like Rob Glancy's got his hand physically raised. I want to add one to the count, and Tim's got his hand physically raised.
That's two. Okay, guys, so that's 17 ayes. And I'm lowering the hands. If you're opposed to approving the Porch Fest application, please raise your hand. Okay, I don't see any hands raised. So by a vote of 17 ayes and 0 nays, the motion carries.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All righty, we have a few more. The next one is the 49th Annual Atlanta Jazz Festival, Class A event, 100,000 participants in Piedmont Park, May 23rd to 25th. This is an annual Memorial Day event. Is the applicant present?
I'm present.
Okay. Thank you. Do you want to tell us about the plans for Jazz Festival this year?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Orenike. I am producing the Atlanta Jazz Festival this year. It's in Piedmont Park, May 23rd, 24th, and 25th. That's Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We will begin loading in on the Tuesday, May 19th, and we will be completely out of your hair by the Wednesday after the festival, May 27th. The large majority of the loadout will be happening the next day on the Tuesday, and then we'll have the last few things out of the park by Wednesday. For the most part, the layout and plans are the same as last year. We do not have any street closures. We only have lane closures during the actual festival on Charles Allen between 8th and 10th, and that's mostly for security and vendor parking. Other than that, we will be utilizing APD for street and traffic control throughout the area. They will be closing off the streets directly around the park, only for resident parking and monitoring of security through all of those areas. So for the most part, this is going to be the exact same jazz festival you had for the last couple of years.
Any questions regarding the Jazz Festival? And I will also be I guess I'll be sending to you the list of the street closure, no parking, emergency parking.
Correct.
Who is your security lead?
Captain Baxter.
Captain Baxter, okay.
The same from last year.
Okay, thank you. Rich?
Has the list of performers been decided upon yet?
It has. They released the schedule earlier this month. So the headliners are Kamasi Washington, The Roots, and PJ Morton. But if you want to go to the Jazz Festival website, you can see the full schedule listed on there.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Thank you, Rich. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Kay. Okay, any questions about the motion or anything about the Jazz Festival? Last chance before we vote. Motion's been made and seconded to approve or support the Atlanta Jazz Festival in Piedmont Park, 100,000 participants. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Tom, is
You
that?
have my extra over here too, Debbie.
I'm sorry, say that again.
You have my extra vote here too.
Okay.
And Rob Glancy.
And Rob Glancy, +2. Okay. Okay, so that makes 14 ayes.
And yeah, Rob had his up as well, Debbie, if you
Yep.
got.
That's,
Sorry.
there were 12. Oh, now there's 13. So that would take us to 15 ayes. Okay. Let me lower your hands. Alrighty, if you're opposed to supporting the Atlanta Jazz Festival, please raise your hand. Okay, I don't see any hands raised, so by a vote of 15 ayes, 0 nays, the motion carries.
Thank you all. Look forward to working with you.
And we look forward to the event. Thank you for being here.
All right, good night.
Okay, the next one is the Virginia Highlands Summerfest Class D event, 9,000 participants. John Howell Park and most of Virginia Avenue on June 6th, and the agenda is incorrect. It's June 6th and 7th, I believe, right?
Correct.
And this is in Virginia Highland. Caitlin, are you going to
Hi
share?
again. Yes. So no major changes this year, except there is no Friday event. As Debbie just said, still on Saturday and Sunday, Saturday 11 to 8 and Sunday 11 to 5. There's still a 5K Saturday morning that we're super excited about. The streets plan to close 4 a.m. Saturday morning, so no streets will be closed on Friday. We'll do some light loading in that day, but nothing blocking any streets, houses, or anything like that. We are doing the Kid Zone still in the park with some fun water rides and water activities to kind of give more into a summer theme. Chris Clark is lead of security again. And then we also have a small stage just down at Virginia and North Highland. So pretty much the same stuff. We're super excited about it again this year. And I'm so sorry. The date or the time for Saturday is 11 to 11 with the market closing at 6. But yeah, so no other major changes. We're super excited.
And it's Rob Glancy. I'm happy to answer any questions as well. I'm the chair for the Virginia Highland Board this year. So yeah, we're expanding the Kids Zone this year and having that all in John Howell Park and the full artist market and the road race. And let us know if you have any questions.
Actually, I have a question. I was surprised to see that the anticipated attendance was 9,000 people. That just seems low, even for a 2-day event instead of a 3-day event. Does someone want to explain how you...
Yeah, so we actually based it on last year's permit. So yeah, that's where we kind of estimated from. And yes, again, the Friday. Sorry, I hear some echo. And the Friday day going away as well.
Okay, I'm sorry. You were kind of reverberating on my computer. So can you say that again?
Yeah, of course. So we based it on last year's permit, and that attendance from last year.
So there were 9,000 people at last year's event, which was 3 days?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All righty. Any other questions? Okay, is there a motion? Someone have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Thank you,
Tom.
Tom. And Rich Sussman's waving his hand, so I guess that's a second. Okay, if there are no more questions and no questions regarding the motion? It is to approve the Virginia Highlands Summerfest Class D 9,000 participants. 2 days in June. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Is there anybody waving?
Tim, I've got my hand up.
Yeah, Tim and Rob both have their hands up.
Okay, so it's +2. Okay, so I see 14 ayes. And let me lower your hands. If you're opposed, please raise your hand. Okay, I don't see any nays. By a vote of 14 ayes and 0 nays, the motion carries. And if I could just make one more comment to Caitlin and to Rob.
Sure.
Could you make sure that the residents of Rupley are able to get off of Rupley? Sometimes the barrier is
On Rupley, yes, absolutely.
right up the street, so we need to be able to get in and out for those.
Of course.
Great.
Absolutely. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, believe it or not, we're getting close. No, we're not getting close to the end. The next is the Northside Hospital Peachtree Road Race, formerly known as the AJC Peachtree Road Race, Class A, 55,000 participants in Piedmont Park on July 4th. Is anyone here to represent the Peachtree Road Race? There is no one here to represent the road race? All righty. Not present. Then we'll move to the next case, application, the Atlanta Ice Cream and Wellness Festival, a Class B event, 22,000 participants in Piedmont Park on July 25th, 2026. Kevin James.
I am here. Good evening. Good evening. How are you, Debbie?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? So
I'm doing
what's
great.
up for the ice cream festival? And you didn't bring us samples.
Well, you know, we've been virtual for the last few years, so everyone's missing out.
There's no excuse.
I think what's different, and you see it in the naming convention of the festival, this is the 16th, so we're celebrating, believe it or not, 16 years since we've all been talking about the ice cream festival. So for this year, we've officially expanded the name. As I've been mentioning the last couple of years, we have an intention focus on wellness. So we have intentionally infused it in the name of the festival. That way people know there is, you know, not just the wellness zone, but a lot of fun, fitness, wellness activities in addition to, of course, America's #1 dessert, ice cream.
Any questions for Kevin regarding the Ice Cream and Wellness Festival?
Yes.
Any questions? This is okay. Is there a motion?
I move to approve, Tom.
Thank you.
I will second.
Thank you, Rich. Okay, last call for any questions regarding this application or any questions regarding the motion. Hearing none, the motion's been made and seconded to approve the Ice Cream and Wellness Festival at Piedmont Park on, July 25th. All those in favor, please raise your virtual hand. Okay.
It's like Rob and Tim have their hands up as well, Debbie.
Okay, so it's +2 and that'll be 14 ayes. I'm gonna lower your hands and is anyone opposed to Ice Cream and Wellness Festival? I don't know how you could be opposed to either.
It's impossible.
Right. Okay. I'm getting a little slap happy and I'm sorry. All righty, by a vote of 14 ayes and 0 nays, the motion carries to approve or support the Ice Cream and Wellness Festival. Thank you, Kevin, for sitting through our meeting.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for your support once again. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
See you.
All right. Next application is Pure Heat Community Festival. Pure Heat, Melissa Scott. It's going to be, all right, not present. And the last is the Atlanta Pride Festival. This is a Class A event, 305,000 participants in Piedmont Park, October 11th, 10th and 11th, 2026. Glenn Paul Freeman, I see you're on the participant list. So do you want to give us an update on what Pride will be like this year?
Sure. And thank you, Debbie. And also on you'll see is Chris McCain, our executive director. So we're going to give you the high levels, but split so you can ask both of us questions. First, thank you again to NPU-F and Debbie for inviting us. We always appreciate attending because we get to hear some really cool things about other events, but also what's happening within the neighborhood. So again, I'm Glenn Paul Friedman. I presented also last year, been involved with the organization a very long time as a volunteer and serve as the government affairs for the organization. And just as Debbie said, just so the event is the same as last year, the second weekend in October the 10th and 11th, just a 2-day event in Piedmont Park. We do set up that week, that Monday to Friday. And then on the dismantle, it is just Monday to Wednesday, but we're normally out by Tuesday. And there are, the event last year was very successful. We appreciate always your comments about parking and stuff that we always pass on to APD or make improvements throughout the weekend. With that, and let me just turn it over to Chris and he'll give some highlights and then we will answer any questions. Chris?
Thanks, Glenn Paul, and good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share about this year's festival. This is our 57th year. We trace our beginnings back to 1970, so we're excited to be once again in Piedmont Park. As Glenn Paul shared, we are making hardly any changes to this year's festival. Our layout is the same, our footprint is the same. We plan to work with all of the same festival vendors as we've worked with in the past, Wit and Waste Management, Premier Events. One change that we are making this year is that our longtime logistics and production partner, Q&A Events, retired at the end of last year. So we are working with another production company, Goodfoot Productions, which is also based here in Atlanta and has worked on many events in Piedmont Park, including Dogwood Festival and others. So it's very familiar with the festival layout and with all of the vendors we work with here locally. Our APD safety coordinators are Major Andrea Webster and Detective Summer Benton. They worked with us last year and we're grateful they're returning again this year. We also continue to work with Grady Health System, Atlanta Fire and Rescue, and we'll be participating in the emergency preparedness process with the City of Atlanta Mayor's Office of Emergency Preparedness starting later this year, as we've done now for the past several years. We will welcome the parking plan that you all have, and we work very closely with APD to make sure that the no parking signs are placed throughout the neighborhood, and we'll be glad to make sure that the requests that you have for this year are respected as well. So we welcome any questions that you have and are grateful to be back again.
And then Tom, right before your question, I'll just say we also submitted with the permit. We added more stuff, which Debbie, hopefully you got, and that is a full overview document, including maps, which will also be posted to our website, just like we did last year, but we will also include the parking stuff that you present so that everyone who attends understands the rules and regulations regarding that. Just make that clear. And I think Tom had a question.
Yeah, thank you. I just had a quick one about the parade. I wondered, is there any initiative to reduce or limit the number of participants and the duration of the parade this year?
Chris, do you want to say something? It is a thing that comes up
it's
every year, not just from here. It's in our emergency preparedness planning.
Yeah, no, we recognize that the scale and duration of the parade is something that we have really maximized, and we are very, very disciplined about ensuring the parade falls within the 4-hour period that the city of Atlanta has authorized for it. And I can say the last 3 years we've ended the parade at least 15 to 20 minutes before the 4 p.m. deadline that we have before APD wants to begin to reopen the streets. So, we have about 300 individual entries in the parade, businesses and community groups. And we always have more interest than we have space. So we are always turning away groups. I think we recognize we are the largest annual parade in the city of Atlanta. We really are proud of what it means to our city to be able to host this really large celebration through the heart of Midtown. We know that it causes disruptions, but we also are grateful for the really broad support that we receive. And so we do really try to be mindful of how we can minimize the traffic disruption while also preserving what we are able to do.
Okay, I appreciate that. The only, I guess, two things I would say is one, it seems like the makeup seems to be shifting more towards a corporate political focus as opposed to a traditional pride focus. And then the second point is sometimes less is more. And I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. We receive it.
And understand it too very well.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments regarding this event? Is there a motion?
I move to approve. Tom?
Thank you, Tom. Is there a
Second.
second? I'm sorry, who seconded? I didn't.
Lewis.
Oh, thank you, Lewis. Okay. Any questions? Last chance for questions regarding the event or the motion. Seeing none, all those in favor of supporting or approving the Atlanta Pride Festival, please do it proudly by raising your hand. Okay, Tim, I see your hand raised.
Tim and Rob both have them up.
Okay, that's 2. Okay, I'm going to wait a minute to see if the numbers change. Okay, I see 13 ayes. And let me lower your hands. If you're opposed to recommending approval or support for Atlanta Pride, please raise your hand. Okay, I don't see any hands raised. So by a vote of 13 ayes and 0 nays, the motion carries. Glenn and Chris, thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for sitting through our long meeting.
No, it was very good. Thank you very much. And we look forward to getting Debbie your
Thank
document
you.
that you'll send us.
Okay,
Yes, thank you all again, and we hope to see you in October.
Thank you. That takes us to the end of special events. For those that are nerds like me, I counted over 600,000 participants on those 10 events that were on our agenda this year. It's going to be a busy summer. Doug, do you have a planner's report?
I do indeed, Debbie. Good evening, everybody. My name is Doug Young. I'm the City of Atlanta's NPU-F City Planner. My day job is Director of the Office of Design for the City of Atlanta's Department of City Planning. I do have a couple quick announcements for tonight. First of all, I wanted to review a couple past voting items where the outcome differed from the NPU's recommendation. I believe Debbie covers that as well. So So this month, later this month, we have on January 28th, we have the second of our Preserving Freedom After American History series at Ebenezer Baptist Church in the King District. This session will be about the concept of Negro building and the complex intersection of race that built the Southern Capitol. That's on March 28th. There'll be links for all these items in the chat in just a minute. And that's put on by my very own Office of Design. The Department of Parks and Recreation is facilitating a new master plan to repurpose the Atlanta Prison Farm on Key Road into a public green space. This is your chance to participate in shaping that historic landscape on March 25th at the Thomasville Recreation Center at 6:30 p.m. and on April 18th at the Roselle Fan Rec Center at 10 a.m. will be community open houses and chance for input into that project. The community conversations are citywide, so there are meetings all around the city of Atlanta related to this green space discussion. The next is the announcement about this year's annual design awards hosted by the Atlanta Urban Design Commission, also staffed by the Office of Design. That's May 15th, 2016. It'll be at City Hall downtown. This event has been going on since 1978. The event is free and open to the public, where you can observe what we consider to be excellent projects around the city of Atlanta to inspire high quality design. Following the presentation will be a small reception, which we welcome folks to mingle and learn more about the projects and the folks that put those together. Also, the City of Atlanta is continuing to pursue ATL Cloud permitting system. This would be a switch from the Excel system we use today. We are still looking for implementation of phase one of that system this fall, which would reimagine permitting and zoning from the ground up, at least the process of getting those. This is not the same as zoning 2.0. This is about the procedural system we use, the software we use to process requests for permitting and zoning. Phase two of this work will bring to the fore in spring of April 2027, so about a year from now. And that'll include code enforcement, tracking, and procedural updates. And then there'll be other topics that covered as well in those 1 and 2 phases, but those are the two main topics we're covering there. And then lastly, regarding zoning 2.0, the change in the City of Atlanta zoning ordinance, you have until April 8th of this year, about a little less than a month now, to provide your comments on draft 2 of Atlanta Zoning 2.0. Again, that's on the project website. There'll be a link in the chat. You can do that via the Conveo system, which is where you sort of like are as if you're editing the document in hard copy, but you can put your comments, questions, etc., in the document itself, just like you're reading it in front of you on the table. So I'll put all these links in the chat for you to follow up about the details on the events and/or the programs that I mentioned.
Any questions for Doug? When will we know more about the Atlanta cloud system? Has that been discussed with, people know that it's coming?
There's not been a lot of discussion with the general public because we're still trying to get the system together ourselves, as in the staff that will be using it, and we're working with our software provider to develop the system essentially, or design the system.
Oh.
So, but that's a good question about how we're going to. I know there'll be some sort of educational information sessions on how to use the system, but it also might be worthwhile just to tell a little bit more folks about the kind of changes we're contemplating, just even before we get to the idea of a user manual kind of a thing.
The biggest problem with Excella is that there's not updated information in it. You can't
Yes.
find anything in it. And a new system's not going to fix that.
It would not.
So make a note.
I will.
Okay, thank you. Lewis, did you have a question? Comment?
Yeah. Doug, looks like I think it's been 2 or 3 years ago now, maybe. There were some artifacts from the old Carnegie Library found either on the old prison farm site or nearby. Is there going to be a search, at least some kind of search, maybe a diligent search, for any kind of artifacts that may have been dumped in the past after destruction downtown?
Uh, that already been conducted. We know where they are exactly on the site.
That's a relief.
Yes. Yep.
What kind of artifacts were they?
They were pieces of the deconstructed downtown Carnegie Library, so large pieces of marble and stone.
Oh, cool.
And a portion of those were used to build the pavilion at Hardy Ivy Park on the north edge of downtown. But there are other stones that are still on the site. And generally speaking, they're the less interesting stones because those were used for the pavilion at Hardy Ivy Park. But there are still stones there for sure. And they're quite large.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, thanks. Thanks for asking the question, Lewis. All righty, any other questions for Doug? If not, we are in the home stretch. My cat is sitting on my notes. Okay, neighborhood and committee reports. Leonard Martin Manor, anything to report?
Yes, we'll be holding a social get-together at Armand Park Saturday afternoon, late afternoon.
Saturday PM.
22nd. 22nd? Like 22nd. Yeah, 22nd, Sunday. I'm sorry.
Okay.
22nd.
Piedmont Heights?
Yeah, thank you, Debbie. Last Saturday, Piedmont Heights held their second annual Beautify Pie High cleanup along the Beltline. It was also National Pie Day. The event was sponsored by Pie High Alliance, which is our business association, and Selig Enterprises, Nakado Japanese Restaurant, and Fast Signs of South Buckhead were the sponsors. There were about 60 total participants, including adults and children. Ansley Golf Club and Stacy's Compounding Pharmacy picked up the 57 bags of trash, 4 tires, 4 pallets, and 2 broken traffic cones. So once again, it was a great coming together for everybody in our neighborhood.
Excellent. Morningside Lenox Park?
Hello. Okay, I came on late. Was Alex Luan on this meeting?
No, he wasn't.
Okay, then I'll just share what he shared with us at our meeting on Monday, which was about the Monroe Drive final design plans, which have been posted on the DOT's website. They are not easy to read, but they are there. And the department will be hosting a virtual community information session in April next month, supposedly, to provide additional details, including a projected construction timeline. And he said it's estimated that the groundbreaking will occur in late June, early July. So we'll all stay tuned for all of that. And then our neighborhood association is hosting a spring new neighbor welcome on Tuesday, March 31st, 5:30 to 7:30 at 6 Feet Under for anyone new to the neighborhood within the past year. And you can register on our website.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
So the 600,000 people that are going to be at special events, I sure hope they know about the Monroe Drive.
Yeah, I didn't even put that together. It's gonna be a really fun summer.
Yeah, I've been talking about it for a couple of years. No one seems to really care about it.
Yeah. I mean, I still at this point will just believe it when I see it.
Me too. Tom?
No, I retract the question.
I know.
It was bordering on snarky, Debbie, so I edited myself.
I know, and I'm starting to fall into this.
At 10 o'clock, I think snark is allowed, but we're a few minutes early.
Yeah, I know. Virginia Highland. We heard about the 2 upcoming events. Anything else to report?
No, we're just my audio is not great, so I don't know if you can hear me. But the
a lot of work underway in the parks in the neighborhood, including major, fundraising going on at John Howe Park for our, revamp of John Howe in the future, and continuing to do what we can, with North Highland Park as well, getting neighbor input to, activate the park more than it is today. And then volunteers continue to do great work at Orm Park. So we welcome many volunteers in those efforts.
Great, thank you. And
one other quick thing is we didn't mention it in the Summerfest report, which is the Saturday night will be our sort of neighbor. We're not dropping the neighborhood party kind of thing, but that's going to be late Saturday, early Saturday evening kind of thing.
all at the Virginia Highland intersection?
Yeah. Similar to how we did it last year, on Friday night last year, right? When we also were kind of celebrating the Murphys anniversary. We're going to be doing the same thing, but we'll do it at the end of the day on Saturday this time.
Right. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Rich, do you have a Parks, Trees, and Environment report?
Just want to remind people that Trees Atlanta's planting season will end the end of March, and we'll pick up again around the middle of October. So it's not really safe to plant trees in the other months. So if neighborhood associations or homeowners want trees planted, wait.
Okay. Thank you for that. Education.
Debbie, can I make a comment on Rich before you move on?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
I just wanted to let everyone know that following what Rich just said, Trees Atlanta has a very large planting planned for this Saturday at Piedmont Park. It's their annual Planting with Pride event. And so we're looking for lots of volunteers. We'll teach you how to plant a tree. And you can go on the Trees Atlanta website to sign up if you would like to participate.
Trees Atlanta is having its native plant sale also. Just go on their site and you can get native plants.
Yep.
Okay. Marla, do you have a communications report?
No, thank you though.
Thank you. Public safety, is Susan or Phyllis here?
Yeah, not much to report. You've heard from both Zone 2 and Zone 6, but I will say something curious on Cheshire Bridge I've noticed. Where Rhodes Bakery is, there are two permanent type signs for the opium den. Has anybody else noticed that besides me for Morningside?
Yes, we are very aware.
Okay, all right.
We have sent a letter to zoning with various concerns. So, and Alex Wan is aware.
Okay. Interesting how that just slides through, isn't it?
Yep, very.
Yeah, we kind of caught it at the beginning. Well, I don't think it's the beginning, but
yeah. Anyway, that's my 2 cents, folks. Yeah.
I'm glad someone else is noticing. Okay. Katie, do you have a zoning report or an APAP report? Ms. Katie?
I think everything that y'all want to hear or that I have to say, we already covered for zoning. And for APAB, there's nothing specific to our NPU to report.
Okay, I did notice that APAB just approved the strategic priorities. Is that what you're calling it?
I don't know what we're calling it.
Oh, okay. Typical APAB. Tom can slap me when this is over. Okay, thank you. Just an update on the community impact grant. Have not heard about our submission for 2026. I did hear, however, that every year, the Community Impact Grant offers an additional bonus when their NPU leadership attends 3 NPU training programs. In December, they announced that the 3 programs would be the officers orientation, which Katie attended. I'm not able to meet in large groups yet. The zoning course and the parliamentary procedures class, which I believe Katie also attended. They announced in February, without any kind of explanation and buried in an email that I did not read, that the zoning course has been swapped out for NPU 101 because planning said that zoning was not scheduled until after the CIG applications were submitted, which was true, but that happens every year. So I don't think we're going to be eligible for that training bonus this year. And they know I am not happy about it, that they made that change without any explanation or burying it in an email. So we'll see where that ends up, but I just wanted you to know that is not going to be available to us. From the chair's report, you heard about all of the SAPs that we've been dealing with for the last month at the beginning of the meeting. We still need a vice chair. If anyone's interested, please let me know. It would just be helpful to have someone that could help me with co-hosting the meeting, which is primarily just clicking on people as they're coming into the waiting room. And on occasion, if I'm not able to lead one of the meetings. The next item is that we need to do a bylaws review. We didn't do it last year. I didn't think it'd be fair for Tom to have to deal with that in 2025, since the process started in July, which is actually when I went out on sabbatical. I'm looking for 2 or 3 volunteers to work with me on reviewing the bylaws and policy sheet. There are some recommendations that the city parliamentarian that has made to us about our bylaws. We need to review them. We don't necessarily need to take their recommendations. We just need to at least look at them and see if they make any sense for us. And then the last item is that Doug mentioned, but I just want to reinforce that the zoning 2.0 document is ready for review. And you have until early April to make comments. Please spend some time reviewing it. The city council approval is scheduled for sometime this summer with implementation shortly thereafter. So we need to make sure that we know exactly what our neighborhoods are going to be facing when that is approved. Any questions about any of the reports or anything that I mentioned, or any volunteers to be vice chair? I'm not giving up on that one. Okay, not yet.